We got a cup of coffee here, so we figured we're going to do a little When Wellness on some recent very interesting research on caffeine, and not in the manner you would think, which is typically for improving focus and attention and exercise performance and wakefulness, reducing fatigue, all that good stuff. And we'll talk about all that at the end and a summary of the research to date as to what caffeine is well proven to help with. But these interesting studies involved, one, people with liver cirrhosis. So when you think of liver cirrhosis, you think of alcoholism, right? You think of other causes too, right? Progressing from fatty liver and steatohepatitis, all this stuff, right? But these people with liver cirrhosis, they wanted to see if coffee would improve inflammatory markers, and it did. 50 people with liver cirrhosis, coffee improved inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, interleukins, and others. And if you don't know what they are, just know that it reduced inflammation, okay? Also reduced liver fibrosis in these people, aka really damage to the liver with liver cirrhosis. All right, so interesting. Coffee might be beneficial for liver cirrhosis. Going to talk really loud because it's windy. But what else do we got? Well, there was another cross-sectional study done recently on around 2,400 elderly people with a history of AFib, also known as atrial fibrillation. And they wanted to see if caffeine intake would improve their cognitive function. Is it safe for people with AFib to have coffee in the first place? Well, it is. The long and short of it is there is no good research out there to show a significant association between even moderate intake daily of coffee or caffeine and an increased risk for AFib. So you can have it if you have a history of AFib, according to the evidence. But you talk to your doctor about all that. Depends on a lot of other factors too, cardiometabolic syndrome and all these things. But what they found was, it improved their cognition, right? And these people with a history of AFib, and more significantly, if they had more cups of coffee in a day, up to 5 cups. 5 cups show the greatest improvement. In general, there are beneficial health outcomes with having more than 4 cups of coffee in a day. So it is good stuff. It is good for your gut microbiome. It contains polyphenols, antioxidants that assist the reactions that your gut bacteria break down fiber and produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, acetate, caproic acid, valeric acid, propionic acid. Whatever the names, don't matter. They control your immune function, mood, appetite, rates of muscle growth, fat storage, hormone production, whole lot of good stuff. So coffee is good for you for a lot of other reasons than you might have thought. Now, in terms of the evidence to date, here as of Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, you guys, by the way. February 14th, 2025. Well, it has been shown to have a moderate effect size, meaning it pretty well improves things like constipation. Now, remember with constipation, we think the 3 F's, fluid, fiber, and fitness, first and foremost. And you got to get to the underlying cause of the constipation, but those 3 things generally could help. All right, more fiber, you want to move a lot, and you want to drink some more water. Right, in simple, get those bowels flowing. All right, but caffeine promotes peristaltic contractions of your intestines to help move that food through the GI tract. All right, so that's definitely one. 2 is inflammatory markers. HDL cholesterol, we've seen improvements in. These are more of a small effect size in terms of inflammatory markers in HDL cholesterol, but nonetheless, it should be mentioned with coffee consumption. And also levels of adiponectin. What the hell is that? Well, we did a whole video on adiponectin a while ago at When Wellness, but if you weren't with us for that, adiponectin is a hormone that is produced by MAT cells, marrow adipose tissue cells, in our bone marrow. This is good type of fat, not white fat, not stored fat around the stomach, right? That doesn't produce adiponectin, but, healthy bones, they sure do. And so to keep them nice and healthy, we're not talking calcium here. That's more for the outer periosteum, more for the outer portions of the bone and strength. We're talking keeping the inside of the bones healthy, right? And albeit caffeine, or coffee we should say here, and it could be due to the caffeine, but this is really showing with coffee intake in itself could also be other vitamins and minerals and things in it that are helping to promote the production of adiponectin, is why I say it like that. It's exercise. That's really going to increase adiponectin production from these MAT cells. And why do we want that in the first place? Well, this hormone helps to boost your metabolic rate, helps to promote fat burning, and improve insulin sensitivity, right? So it is a very good thing to elevate. When it comes to caffeine in isolation, it's been studied for a lot of stuff out there over the years for like everything, all right? So we know that it improves wakefulness, We know it improves power output and anaerobic capacity, so exercise performance in both of those regards especially, and that is with a moderate to large effect size, probably more on the moderate size for most of it. Most of this, we're really strict on research. We don't give something a large effect size unless it's really, 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 really well proven to do that, and even without any other things, but definitely strong is the evidence for showing caffeine's effectiveness in those regards. Now, we also have a small effect size of improvement regarding caffeine in other categories as well. Things like reaction time, things like hormone production, such as actually testosterone, believe it or not, epinephrine, aka adrenaline, and that's another way that caffeine promotes fat burning, actually probably the major mechanism. It inhibits an enzyme called phosphodiesterase. If you guys were curious, for all you science junkies out there, that reverts cyclic AMP back to AMP. So we keep AMP in its cyclic form by blocking that phosphodiesterase with caffeine, and that increases the release of adrenaline. Typically has to be 1.36 milligrams of caffeine per pound of body weight to get that effect. But other research says, independent of dosage, you will get that fat burning effect from caffeine. But there is enough evidence to say 1.36 milligrams per pound that we made sure that somebody who's 239 pounds will still get that effect from the amount of caffeine found in Super U, a supplement that I formulated, gives you energy and focus and a lot of other good stuff. This video is not about Super U. It's about coffee, baby, and caffeine. So what else do we got for caffeine? Actually, improvements in blood pressure, believe it or not. Fatigue, of course. Cortisol levels, that's stress hormone, so reducing that, boosting your metabolism in general, and promoting fat loss. All right, now remember, coffee is a healthy thing. It's the things you add to coffee that often take away from its benefit. If you're putting a bunch of sugar in it and processed crap, or you're putting Splenda, aka sucralose, all that kind of garbage, damages your DNA and kills your gut bacteria. You're having a 900 calorie drink from Starbucks that's full of garbage, right? Obviously, it's not going to be as good for you. But know that there, again, are beneficial health outcomes in people that have more than 4 cups of coffee in a day. Now, that depends on your cardiometabolic status, right? Maybe people that have high cholesterol and blood pressure and all these other things, and you're really overweight and maybe your heart's really struggling. Maybe it's not the best idea. Talk to your doctor about that, right? But for the vast majority of the time, coffee is a healthy thing, and that's what we got for you guys today. So really, really neat stuff. That's kind of the gist of coffee and caffeine as of the current research here in February 2025. Who do we got on here? What's up, homies? We got to get back to work. Treat patients. What's up, Madaj? All right. No, that sounds good. Moonbow, I appreciate that. I'll message you about buying Super U. It's something you put a scoop of powder into a cup of water, 16 to 24 ounces, and just sip on it and enjoy, my friend. No added sugar, no artificial sweeteners or dyes, no bullshit. Zia Dan, Sibia, what's up? Said it right the first time. How you doing? Mano Salva, Meg, happy birthday, girlie. Thanks for hopping on. Oh, good. I'm glad you caught me, Moonbo. Brandon Malone, what's up? Hey, I'm landscaping, and that's everybody. As for now, so what we got for you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll see you then. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you very much, and happy One Wellness. Go do something great for yourself, and have a happy Valentine's Day. We'll see you soon. Hope you heard all that with the wind.